Hello, my old friend. It's time to get you to the doctor. So I'm at the violin makers picking up my violin. It was open in a few places, and it also has a new sound post. So some work to be done with playing it back in shape, but we'll get there. It's always much better, yeah. It was sitting in the case for like 2 years. I didn't touch it. I opened it, all the strings and it was broken, and everything was like
right.
It looked like a bomb went off in there. Much better.
Okay.
So this is my violin, and it's actually been sitting in its case for a couple of years, so it was in pretty bad shape, which is why I just had it fixed up, like you just saw. It was actually open quite a few places around here, and that's on purpose because string instruments live and breathe. The wood contracts and expands with the weather. So they're actually glued together with a glue that's designed to break. So the glue breaks instead of the wood. But obviously, when it's open around the edges, it doesn't sound well. He also put in a new sound post. The sound post is a piece of wood that goes under the deck here to the bottom, and it's called the soul of the violin because it transfers the vibration from the bridge onto the rest of the resonating body. Now, when an instrument has been sitting for that long and you also put in a new sound post, you need to wake it up again. You need to shake it back into life. And the way to do that, to vibrate everything, is to play with a slow bow speed up and down the strings, very close to the bridge. So that's going to be my job for the next couple of weeks. See if we can vibrate some life back into this thing. Now, if you follow this channel, you will know that I am a violist. So why on earth am I bringing out my violin again? Well, I actually went to music academy to study violin, and I worked for about 5 years as a violinist before I discovered that I like its bigger sister better, and I switched. But now it's time to make Intimate Violin Iremia, the next release from Bunker Samples. And by recording the samples myself, I stay in complete control of the whole process, and I kind of like that. If you're unfamiliar with the Iremia concept, it is to record very, very quiet sustains and textures and record them very, very close to create the most intimate solo string library I possibly can. And in this video, you're going to be sort of a fly on the wall. I'm going to document the whole process so you can see what it's like to make a sample library. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so the way I sample is in whole tones, but I also check each individual instrument because string instruments are all different. Some have wolf notes that sound really bad, and some have weird resonances in different places. But I did some test recording, and this violin is good to go with just a whole tone starting from the lowest open string, which is G. So what I'm doing now is prepping the session. I want to avoid click bleed at all costs, so I have a spoken click, and basically I only need to do two things. I need to do the longs, which are 16 seconds, and because I don't want to have a click in the ear while I'm playing, I want to be able to improvise all these textures. It's just that 3, 4, go, and then right before the end, so I stop at the right time, I have a 3, 4, stop. Pretty simple. The swells are of course a little bit different because I'm recording 4, 3, 2 and 1 second, crescendo up, crescendo down. And for the viola and the cello, it was pretty easy to do the 4-second ones in one bow. I'm not sure I'm going to get a good sound out of this violin doing that. It's going to be a little bit squeezed. So let's see. The way I always do is I have a synthesizer reference note for tuning. And then the
and 4 and go.
Start.
2, 3,
And here I'm crescendoing
4,
up to 1, and then
2,
crescendo down, decrescendo
3,
down.
4, stop.
So my spoken click works quite well, but let's just do a test on different strings. So let's start with the open string.
3 and 4 and go. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, stop.
So in a down bow that could possibly work. a little bit squeezed, and it's going to get harder when we get to the higher strings. So I just want to test. Let's try that one.
3 and 4 and go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop.
Yeah, it doesn't really work. To get a good sound, I've run out of bow. So I think I'm going to have to break the 4 seconds into an up bow and a down bow. Let's try that.
Stop. 3 and 4 and go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop.
I think that's much better. So what I'm going to do now is I've found the spoken click track I used for the viola, but of course the reference notes needs to be changed. So that's what I'm doing now. The next thing to prepare is the inside mic, and that is actually this little guy that is going to go inside the violin, and that's kind of what makes this library unique. When I did the viola, I made this contraption. This is a microphone holder, but then I put a piece of wire in it, and that held the microphone inside the viola. So now I've got to adapt this to the violin. I think this is going to be too big the way it is, so I've got some fresh wire and a pair of pliers, and let's see what we can do. So I want this to sit like that inside the violin, so I need to clamp this down like that. So that's nice and secure. And we're going to go in from this side, sort of in the center, right under the bridge. Obviously you have to be careful, we don't want to damage anything. A little bend like that. I think that bend can be a bit sooner. I think that's pretty good actually, but I want this to be more in this direction. The big danger, of course, is that if this wire touches the side of the violin at the F hole here, it's going to rattle like crazy. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to wrap this around here a few times. So there you have it. Now we've got to see if it sounds okay. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little test recording here to see if the inside mic sounds okay. I'm quite happy with that, so all I got to do now is send the click track off to the studio so Kuang can prep the session, and then think about eating, because you don't want to come in on an empty stomach. A rumbling stomach in a session where we're recording a solo instrument really quiet can be a big problem. So 2.5 hours to go. I think maybe eating in about an hour would be a good idea, but until then I'm just going to practice some of the more textual articulations to make sure that fingers, vibrato, everything is up to speed. And yeah, I do actually practice for a sampling session because I can, and it's going to make the final product so much better. Now you might have noticed these funky looking microphones in back of shot. These are the Aston Elements, and I will bring them to the session as well. They will be placed here, right above the instrument, one pointing towards the lower strings, one pointing towards the higher strings. And that's what I call the super close perspective. That's going to capture all the details, the imperfections, the bow noise, all the things that's going to make this library sound intimate and human. So we have 3 close microphones. We have the inside, the super close, and then a more traditional close up here. I absolutely love these things. It's a cheap microphone, but it sounds incredible. and it has the lowest self noise of any microphone I know of, and that's important in sampling. If you're just getting into recording and sampling, highly recommend these. So here we are. Do you have the remember the measurements from the viola recording? Yeah. Things are breaking already. So one is like that, and then the other is here. Ah. Right, so that it's pointing like here, and then pointing down this way. Do you mind if I move these the Neumanns a little bit this way? Okay. So now we do the longs with the mute. Okay. All right. So finished all the normal sustains now. Now I just have to do the harmonics, which I'm not thrilled about because that's really difficult. But then we have the textures where I get to move the bow arm a bit more, and that's going to be better. Okay, so now we're doing bow pulses. Ah, that was a bit shit. Can do that again. Right, so that's the end of day one. I am quite beat up now. It's very taxing on the body, it's pain everywhere. So I'm definitely going to need a massage when this is over. But it's not over yet because tomorrow morning we start again. And tomorrow we do all the swells and a few more of the textual articulations. But I'm going to go home and sleep now. All right, it's the next day and early morning, for me at least, and we gotta get going because Tet, Lunar New Year, is starting this weekend, so traffic is gonna be absolutely insane. So let's go to the studio. I'll see you later, buddy, okay? Morning.
Hello, morning.
All right, made it. Traffic wasn't bad at all to my surprise. And today we got to do 3 more of the textures with and without mute, and then just the swells. 4, 3, 2, and 1 seconds, and we're doing 3 versions of each, without mute, with mute, and then with mute and tremolo. So should be pretty easy, but you never know. goes in there.
Four and
This will help. Just pretend the camera's not there.
How long you have in sound design?
Like sampling?
Yes,
6 years now.
oh, 6 years. So before that, you're like a violin player, or
Yeah, viola actually. I studied
viola.
on violin, then I switched to viola. I worked 10 years in different orchestras in Denmark.
oh,
Okay. So just finished, and I am completely beat now. Shoulder hurts a lot, so I think coffee and then a massage before I start even looking at the samples. But I just want to show you this amazing studio as well, because this is a fully floated room. Double walls, floor, ceiling, everything. And it is dead quiet in here, which is amazing when you consider what's going on out there. This is the amount of noise that's outside. I can barely hear myself over the noise from the street. So to have a room like this is pretty incredible. Dead quiet. Amazing. I love this place. This is where I record almost all of Bunker Sample's instruments, and I'll be back here soon for the next project. Wonder what that's going to be. Okay, I unplug.